Hey, Dr. Don Russell here. I'm a psychotherapist and author and trainer, and I work in the area of trauma treatment, vicarious trauma prevention and recovery. And in this short instructional video, I want to introduce you to a pretty unorthodox uh, support technique. I'm not going to call it a treatment, although some people use this as a treatment for trauma and other things, and there's research that supports the use of this. But for our purposes in this video, I'm just going to call it a technique that is very useful to reduce symptoms and support you in your life if you are living with anxiety, living with trauma, or vicarious trauma. So the technique is called emotion freedom technique. And it's unorthodox. You've probably never heard it before because it is not based on Western psychology or Western medicine. It's actually based on Eastern medical treatment principles, so acupuncture and the like. Emotional freedom technique is basically self-administered acupuncture, but wait a minute, I hope you don't have a needle phobia. It doesn't use needles. It uses tapping or gentle massaging by yourself. So you can do this on yourself at any time over the course of the day. It's unorthodox, so full disclosure, it's unorthodox. It's going to feel weird and bizarre, and you are going to not want to do this because it seems to look silly, but I invite you and challenge you to give it a try and see if it helps. And like most things that we use for symptom reduction, if it helps 5%, then it's worth doing along with other things that offer 5% relief. And if we put together a bunch of different tools that each offer 5% relief, then pretty soon we've got the real deal, right? So here's emotion freedom technique. And you can giggle at me as you watch me do this, that's okay. You can do it with me. I'll explain it as I go, and you can follow along. So the first thing I'm going to do as part of emotion freedom technique is I'm going to start tapping on what's called in Chinese medicine the karate chop point, basically that meaty part of my hand. Left or right hand, doesn't matter. So I'm tapping, since I'm left-handed, I'm tapping with my left hand here. And as I'm tapping on my karate chop point right here, I'm going to say a sentence out loud 3 times. And I'm going to say that sentence with conviction as though I really mean it. So I'm going to use as an example anxiety. So suppose I have test anxiety, something really simple. And here we go. Even though I have this test anxiety, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Once. Even though I have this test anxiety, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. And one more time. Even though I have this test anxiety, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. So there's the first step. It's called the setup. And now I'm going to tap on a series of acupressure or acupuncture points. Most of them are on my face. And while I'm tapping on these points, I am thinking and feeling about this problem of mine, this test anxiety. So third eye, first point. And next point is I'm tapping here and thinking about my anxiety. And then I'm tapping underneath my eye, thinking about the test anxiety, feeling the anxiety that I feel about writing tests. And then underneath my nose, test anxiety. Above my chin, thinking about my test anxiety. And then I'm going to trace down, here's my collarbone, I'm going to track my collarbone down where it meets my throat, and right at the bottom of my collarbone I'm going to tap there, still thinking about my anxiety. And then the next one is hard to see here, about 4 inches down underneath my armpit on my ribs. So I'm reaching across in this case to tap there. I could do this too, I could tap on that side, doesn't matter, left or right, doesn't matter. but I'm tapping on my side of my rib cage about 4 inches down from my armpit, and I'm still thinking about my anxiety. So that's second to last one, and then the last one is on the well-being point. So this one is called in Chinese medicine, and I'm thinking about my anxiety. So there's the complete set. I'm going to go around again. These pressure points, don't have to repeat the setup. So here's my anxiety. I feel anxious writing tests. Oh, tests freak me out. I get so nervous about writing tests. I'm afraid that I'm going to forget everything when I sit down and write a test. And I'm afraid I'm going to fail. Worried about failing. So anxious about writing tests. I'm afraid to write tests. There we go. Now I'm going to go around one more time. Go over with me. So starting here again, thinking about my test anxiety, and then I'm going to change it up. I feel calm and confident. I'm just going to say that, even if I don't believe it. Thinking about my test anxiety, and I feel calm and confident. Thinking and feeling about my test anxiety, so anxious about this test coming up, and I feel calm and confident. And feeling that dreadful anxiety about writing a test on the ribs, and I feel calm and confident. Okay, we can go around more if we want, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to pause right there. Did the setup here, saying the sentence out loud 3 times, and then I went around and did 3 laps of massaging these pressure points with focusing on the noxious stimulus. The last round I chose to alternate noxious stimulus and then the phrase, I feel calm and confident. That's emotion freedom technique. It's very, very simple to do. It took me 7 minutes to explain it. To actually do it, it takes about 3 minutes to do it. So it's really, really quick to do. You can do this several times a day. There's no risk of overdose. There's no harmful side effects. So don't have to worry about any of that stuff. Really easy to do. Highly recommend that you give this a try. When you do find yourself besieged with anxious symptoms, trauma symptoms, I'm not promising that this is going to treat and resolve your trauma, although it might, but at the very least it will reduce the symptoms that are bothersome, and that's extremely, extremely valuable. Thanks for watching this video. Leave a comment, subscribe, do all that stuff. More stuff will come at you, and most important, have a fantastic day.